The trap you didn't see coming. There's something the poor buy every day and the rich sell with a smile. And once you understand this trap, how it's been engineered by capitalists and disguised as freedom, you'll never chase financial freedom the same way again. In fact, it might just be the moment you flip the system, stop being exploited, and start winning. Welcome to Prosperity Magic. If you're ready to question everything you've ever believed about money, success, and freedom, stay until the end. Because today we're pulling the curtain back on one of the most profitable illusions in modern history. Money with wings, why the rich keep getting richer. Here's a question worth your entire life. Why do the already rich still obsessively chase more money? Take someone like Jack Ma making hundreds of millions every single minute, yet he claims, "I'm not interested in money." You laughed, didn't you? Sounds fake. Sounds like a lie. But here's what might disturb you more. He's telling the truth. And the people laughing at him? They're the ones who've been lied to. Brain, how to make people work for you, willingly. So let me ask you, if I wanted you to work for me, devote your energy, your time, even your dreams, how could I make you do it willingly? Simple. I keep you poor consistently. When your wallet shrinks and your expenses rise, there's only one way out. You work. You hustle. You sell your time and body to those of us who don't need to. The truth? Whether we, the capitalists, make money is not even the point. What matters is making sure you always need money. So we extract money from your wallet, then use it to buy your time. Again. Handbag. The luxury loop. Design to enslave. Let's make it concrete. Say I own a luxury brand, Hermes. I walk into my store and take any bag I want. No money needed. I want a new Porsche? I trade a few Hermes bags for it. Even if I fancy a woman, I don't offer her money. I offer her Hermes. That's not arrogance. That's how the system works. Because once my logo becomes currency, I no longer need money. But you work your whole life just to afford the bags I created. Or worse, you spend your savings on someone impressed by that bag that I imagined into existence. Magnet. Why the consumer trap works. So why does this trap exist? And why is it legal? Just one global crisis, a pandemic, is enough to break every economic taboo. When a government wants to stimulate the economy, what do? They stimulate consumption. GDP is built on spending, and they want you to keep spending. So they offer stimulus checks, job grants, and spending subsidies. Why? To keep you consuming. To train your habits. To make sure that even when things feel uncertain, you continue feeding the machine. Collision, the cost of not spending. But wait, why inflation? Why do central banks keep printing money year after year? Because they need to convince you that saving is dangerous. If you don't spend your money, it will lose value. It'll turn to paper. To dust. So let me ask you, are you brave enough to stop spending? Most aren't. Which is why the system keeps working. Because as long as you need money, you'll chase it. And the economy keeps spinning. Brick, why the system needs 97% to stay broke. The world needs 97% of the population to stay at the bottom. And just 3% to stay on top, managing the rest. It's always been this way. So how do you move from the 97% to the 3%? You stop falling into the consumer trap and start building the trap yourself. Magnifying glass tilted left, what this video will expose. In today's video, I'm going to peel back the layers of the consumer trap designed by capitalists, reinforced by politicians, and show you the core logic behind it all. Because once you see the system, you can start using it. So smash that like button to save this video. And remember, this channel exists for entrepreneurs, investors, and people who are done playing by the rules of the poor. Bell, join the movement, Prosperity Magic. If you never want to miss powerful insights like this, subscribe to Prosperity Magic, hit the notification bell, and share this video with people who are ready to escape the grind. Now let's get into the real danger, the trap of financial freedom. Firecracker, the lie hidden inside financial freedom. You've heard me right. You need to escape the trap of financial freedom. Sounds crazy? Didn't I just say this channel is about wealth and freedom? Yes. But most people are chasing a fake version of financial freedom. The kind that keeps them poor while making them think they've made it. Bank, a fake freedom example. Let's say you sell your house. You invest the money into a fund that pays you $10,000 per month. Your expenses are $8,000 per month. Congratulations, you're financially free. You drive a supercar. You gift your girlfriend Hermes. You dine in luxury. And next month, you do it all over again. Sounds like freedom, right? Warning, but here's the twist, that freedom was engineered by capitalists. Because the luxury you're enjoying was designed by them. You traded your real estate, your real asset, for monthly passive income, only to spend it on imagined value, handbags, vacations, designer clothes. They sold you debt disguised as status. And now, you spend your freedom serving their bottom line. Magnet, why many rich people are still poor. That's why many second-generation rich kids spend their days partying, drinking, burning money. But they're still poor. Not because they lack cash, but because they're trapped in a fake freedom, spending someone else's legacy, never building one of their own. Fire, closing, break free now. So if you want real financial freedom, stop chasing consumption. Stop falling for status symbols. Start investing in ownership, creation, leverage. Today, you've just seen the surface of the game, and in the next episodes, we'll go even deeper. Wrap gift, final message, prosperity magic. If this video shifted your perspective, don't just scroll past. Share it with someone who's still stuck in the system. Subscribe to Prosperity Magic, because wealth isn't about working harder, it's about seeing clearer. Welcome to the 3%. The monkey illusion. If you strip away the branding, the advertising, the noise, many people today are no different from monkeys in the wild. They eat when hungry, sleep when tired. They exist, not live. And yet, most of them still dream of becoming the next rich kid, longing for a life of luxury and passive income. Why? Because they think having money to spend equals freedom to live. But what if that freedom is a lie? Direct hit? Who taught you to chase luxury? Let me ask you this. Who told you that luxury equals happiness? Who decided that a $300,000 car, despite being uncomfortable, should be called a supercar? That a woman with perfect proportions and a pretty face is the definition of beauty? That a piece of land by the sea is a villa? Or that a thin piece of printed cotton is called money? And who told you that if you don't have these things, you are a failure doomed to a life of suffering? Brain, the world is a pyramid scheme. Take a step back and see this for what it really is, a giant, global pyramid scheme. From the moment you're born, you're programmed, conditioned, indoctrinated. By your parents, by your teachers, by movies, by advertisements, by social media, all implanting the same message: consume to feel joy, buy to escape pain. So what do? You hustle. You make money. Then you spend it on the very luxuries you were told would make you free. You post them online, flex on strangers. You declare, look, I made it. But all you did was become a loyal participant in the system. You became a recruiter in the very pyramid scheme that enslaves the world. Classical building, the rule that runs the world. Here's the ultimate twist. The game is legal. The rule is endorsed by the elite. In fact, this entire structure is how the world runs. And the rich, they didn't escape the system. They understood it and started profiting from it. Ring. Weddings. A profit machine disguised as love. Getting married? Legally, it costs almost nothing. But someone told you, it's the most important day of your life. You only get one. So you panic. You cash out your savings. You throw a wedding worth years of your hard work. Everything must be top tier: lobster, abalone, luxury brands, exotic decor. Even if you eat instant noodles for the next 12 months, your wedding must scream, I made it. And the wedding industry explodes with profits. Lipstick, women, beauty, and the consumption cycle. Now add this: women must pamper themselves. You have to be beautiful to attract wealth. You deserve your fairy tale wedding. Suddenly, makeup sales skyrocket. Luxury handbags fly off the shelves. Cosmetic surgery clinics are booming. Why work for a home when you can look good and marry into one? Why struggle, she thinks, when I can rent a bigger apartment, borrow a nicer car, and fake it till I make it? Gemstone diamonds are forever, or are they? Then comes the proposal. A jeweler whispers a diamond is forever. A moment to last a lifetime. So the poor man spends tens of thousands of dollars on a shiny rock. A rock he later tries to sell, only to find it's nearly worthless. Why? Because diamonds aren't rare. They're manufactured, artificial. But you've been brainwashed to believe it's not meant to be sold. It's meant to be passed down. So you justify the price. Legacy, you say. Books, the luxury trap in education and real estate, same logic. Why do you need a top-tier university degree? Because America's trillion-dollar student loan market needs your cooperation. Why do I love real estate? Because when online gurus scream, the housing market will crash, guess what people do? They rent. And my rental income skyrockets by over 10%. Thank you, internet fearmongers. School backpack. Luxury is debt to the poor. Asset to the rich. A luxury handbag? To most people, it's debt. To the one who invented it, it's cash flow. A diamond? To the buyer, it's a liability. To the seller, it's branding. That's the difference. The rich don't just own things. They own what others desire. They own assets that make you want to work harder to give them what they want. Status, power, love, obedience, mobile phone, the ERA of attention, and why the rich stream. Have you noticed? Celebrities making millions a day, now live streaming to sell $5 items? Why do billionaires with art museums go on camera to sell cheap knockoffs? Why do luxury influencers skip sleep to make daily videos? Because YouTube has 2.5 billion users. And if just 10,000 of them give you $100, you've just made $1 million. Hourglass not done. The new meaning of time is money. People used to laugh at the phrase, time is money. Not anymore. In the age of self-media, if people give you their attention, even without spending a dime, you can become a millionaire. A billionaire. Because attention is capital. And capital controls the economy. To most, YouTube is just a time killer. But to me, it's a passive income machine. Movie camera. Why self-media is the greatest leverage tool. And guess what? In the next 20 years, as the world enters the fire cycle, industries connected to light, video, and digital communication will dominate. And nothing embodies all of that better than self-media. So tell me, why sit still while the rich build wealth? Why not join the game? Create assets. Own attention. Build flow. See no evil, monkey. Being free doesn't mean you're safe. You think avoiding marriage, kids, holidays, luxury, consumption makes you free? You eat, sleep, breathe like an animal in peace. You think you've escaped exploitation? But every year, the system whispers to you, it's okay. Don't do anything. Just wait. And 10 years later, when your savings can't even buy a bowl of noodles, you'll realize. Even stillness gets taxed. Fire, closing, the next level, so what now? In the next episode, we'll talk about how to stop being manipulated and start being the one who sets the rules. Because you can't fight a system until you learn how it really works. Wrapped gift. Call to action. Prosperity magic. If this video gave you a new perspective, don't just walk away. Subscribe to Prosperity Magic, where we expose the hidden truths of wealth, power, and ownership. Because the poor buy, the rich sell, and the wise, they design the market. The illusion of escape. What if doing nothing is exactly what keeps the system running? They say, just relax, stay still, disconnect from the madness. But even those who claim they don't care about money still check house prices every morning. You see, a country can never allow everyone to stop working. If that happened, America would collapse by next week. So even the ones shouting, I'll never buy a home, still obsess over real estate trends. And when prices dip, they're the first ones to secretly buy in. I used to be confused by this. Now I get it. These are the real masters of the game. Faced with monocle, decode the rules, reveal the truth. Why do people fall into consumption traps? Because 97% of the population exists as data points. Fuel for the system. Only a rare few understand the machine from above. The wealthiest 1% design the rules and the traps. They feed off the effort of those who believe hard work alone will save them. They preach that diligence is a virtue, that effort changes fate. But they don't follow those rules. They create them. And who enforces them? Teachers. Your math teacher, who proudly tells students, I own a house. I drive a car. What he doesn't see is that he's just another mouthpiece for capitalist design. He trains children to become consumers. I remember thinking if I didn't get into a top university, my life would be over. Turns out, not getting in was the best thing that ever happened to me. It gave me time to build a business and question everything I'd been taught. Thread, the world only recognizes results. This world doesn't care about good intentions. It respects strength. It rewards results. The rules? Only the weak follow them. The strong invent them. Obedient, rule-following people are often the easiest to exploit. And yet, they feel righteous, they even preach to others. You think effort alone earns respect? No. Results do. The world doesn't care how correct your methods were, only what you built. So if you want to stop being a pawn, stop fighting the trap and start designing one. Bomb, the addiction game, sell or be sold to. Why are alcohol and cigarettes so popular? Because addiction equals recurring revenue. The capitalist doesn't consume. He sells the thing people crave. You have two choices. 1. Be the addict. 2. Be the dealer. The same applies to daily habits. Some women buy Starbucks daily, shop impulsively, hire private yoga coaches. Men hoard sneakers, flex cars, buy watches. Why? Because everyone else is doing it. The herd instinct kicks in. But I chose the opposite. I don't smoke, drink, or game. Instead, I buy those things to resell. I buy Rolex to flip them, cars to lease them, luxury to multiply it. Automobile, when luxury pays you back. I buy under my business name. I deduct taxes. I rarely drive, I hire drivers. I rotate cars yearly, not for fun, but to save on tax and maximize write-offs. Meanwhile, others spend years saving just to buy a car in their own name, then take loans to cover it. And guess what? When I resell, they line up to buy the car I wrote off. Luxury isn't evil. It's a tool when you control it. Globe with meridians, the next traps are digital. Tomorrow's consumption won't be handbags and cigars. It'll be NFTs, metaverse property, AI subscriptions, digital status. Because let's face it, people live online now. Even my parents stare at screens more than faces. There are only two types of people left. 1. Those who consume content. 2. Those who create it. The best way to make people work for you? Make them crave things they don't need. Then tell them they're poor because they didn't work hard enough. Rocket, the truth about modern poverty. Why are people still poor in an age of hyperproductivity? Because the world is designed that way. If the poor became rich overnight, who would cook? Who would clean? Who would stock shelves? The rich can't use force. That's too obvious. But they can manufacture desire. Desire keeps you loyal. Desire makes you thankful for low wages. That's how $100 can hire 2 people instead of 1. Desperation drives competition. Globe showing America's. Information equals power. So remember, the ones who stay still yet never escape the consumption trap aren't free. They just spend less on family to spend more on themselves. The media, the movies, the school system, all of it wires you to want more. But wisdom begins when you stop absorbing blindly. Knowledge is seeing the data. Wisdom is transforming it into insight. And true ownership? That starts when the truth finally clicks in your mind and becomes your own. Glowing star. Closing. The moment you wake up. If just one thing in this video made you stop and think, then I've done my job. I create free content about wealth, entrepreneurship, and financial freedom. If you don't want to miss what comes next, subscribe to Prosperity Magic, hit the bell, and share this with someone who needs to break free. Until next time, stay sharp, stay aware, and stay in control.